I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess. I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks.
Alex, what has been the reaction to Disney's latest expensive own goal?
Well, the reaction has been absolutely horrible. It is the worst box office from a Disney live action remake that they've ever done. And
I mean, they're projected to lose between 2 and 400 million on this.
The thing that really shocks me about this story, you know, Disney and all these media companies, they invest hundreds of millions of dollars into these projects, right? Have they ever thought about maybe like a little bit of like, I don't know, vulnerability study, opposition research, that sort of thing before you go and hire some Zoom?
What would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
I'm getting on across. Hold on. Here. Yeah, hold on.
All right. Congrats, Rachel.
And Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like her life is so bad.
I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion, but the reality is she's just not stable.
And you know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's going to lose money on this movie. And I believe it only made less than $1 million in China.
Oh my God.
Nobody
Who
wants
a movie about true love? What kind of woman do we want out there seeking true love, Eliana? It's the outrage.
Looking for real love? Forget that. Eliana, drama's in the air. Rachel Zegler has gone totally MIA just days after rumors exploded that Disney might want their money back over the Snow White flop. The actress who once had the whole industry rooting for her has apparently ghosted not just from Hollywood, but from the whole country. Word on the street is she hopped on a flight and quietly touched down in Dubai.
When she speaks, she gets less likable. There's some clip of her on the internet in her Snow White outfit saying, "Every hour I am in the outfit of Snow White wearing the dress. All 18 hours, I deserve to be paid for every single one." Oh, really? Are you having trouble paying your bills, Rachel? Did Steven Spielberg not pay you for your role in West Side Story? Did Disney fail to give you a healthy paycheck for, like, cry me a river? She's just exactly everything that we can't stand.
Yeah, Dubai. Now people are seriously asking, did she just need a break or is she dodging something major? The timing is way too perfect to brush off. Right after an avalanche of hate online, backstage chaos, and whispers of legal trouble, boom, she's gone. Insiders say Disney's top dogs were in full panic mode before she vanished. They were reportedly digging deep, talking about pulling the plug on her payouts, and even using morality clauses against her. And then, poof, no interviews, no Insta posts, no public spin. Not a peep, just silence. And the whole industry is buzzing? Even wilder? She dipped out right after a top-secret emergency meeting at Disney HQ. The meeting? Allegedly all about whether Zegler's wild pre-release behavior and her headline-grabbing quotes were enough to crash the project before it even dropped. Now everyone's left wondering, was this a quiet reset or a straight-up getaway plan? And just like that, the spotlight's empty. But the questions? They're only getting louder. Those wild interviews and out-of-touch political rants? Yeah, they might have crossed a legal line. If what people are saying turns out to be true, Disney's not just mad. They're allegedly looking for ways to make Rachel Zegler cough up some serious cash for Snow White's disastrous box office flop. But the buzz doesn't end there. While Zegler's team claims she's just resetting her online life, internet sleuths ain't buying it. Fans are putting the puzzle pieces together, deleted Instagram posts, wiped Twitter replies, cleared calendars, and even tracked down flight records. It's got people convinced this ain't a simple social media detox. This looks like a strategic vanish. Some are saying she's not just ducking the media storm, she might be dodging lawyers too, or even behind-the-scenes negotiation drama. Things at Disney? Straight up chaotic. Leaks from the inside say execs were caught totally off guard by how bad Snow White bombed after throwing over $250 million into production and marketing. That kind of L hurts. And here's the jaw dropper. There's talk that Disney might actually try to claw back some of Zegler's earnings. For real. Rumors say there's a heated back and forth happening in the boardrooms about whether her press tour behavior violated her contract, especially since a bunch of her viral comments came off like she was shading the same classic franchise she was paid to promote. People are shook, and if this gets uglier, we might be looking at one of the biggest celebrity studio fallouts in years. An insider just dropped a bomb. Apparently, during that hush-hush Disney meeting, a top exec straight up said she torched a billion-dollar legacy with one interview. And the craziest part? Nobody pushed back. Not a single soul in the room disagreed. And that so-called apology Zegler posted online, it might not even be hers. Word is, Disney's own crisis PR squad ghost wrote the whole thing and told her to post it exactly as written. No edits, no emotions, just copy and paste. The tone, cold. The message, super polished, super safe, and totally flat. For fans already heated over her earlier comments, that post hit all the wrong notes. It felt like a PR memo, not something from the heart. Twitter and Reddit exploded. People tore it apart, line by line, pointing out reused phrases and comparing it to old celebrity damage control posts. The verdict? Robotic, corporate, and fake. Instead of fixing things, the apology just made it worse. It only confirmed what a lot of folks already believed. Zegler's not in control of her image anymore, and Disney's running the whole show from the shadows. And now, the backlash is crushing. Word is Zegler's been breaking down behind closed doors, totally wrecked by how fast things turned on her and not sure how to bounce back. Meanwhile, Disney's damage control? It's backfiring hard. Instead of looking authentic, the studio's coming off as more focused on covering their pockets than showing real remorse. At this point, the question ain't if Snow White flopped. It's whether Rachel Zegler can bounce back and if Disney even wants her to. Behind closed doors, the whispers are getting louder. Her inner circle, scrambling. Sources close to the chaos say the vibe inside Team Z is falling apart fast. Not long ago, she was being groomed to be the next big face of Disney's live-action empire. There were plans for sequels, spin-offs, global campaigns, massive brand deals, the whole 9 yards. Zegler was supposed to be the golden ticket, the one to carry Disney into a new era. She was hyped up as the next global superstar, someone who could transcend Hollywood and dominate worldwide. But now, that whole fairy tale is crashing down. Hard. Insiders say her career's gone from sky high to nosedive almost overnight. People on her team are clashing. Half of them want a bold comeback plan, talking redemption stories and image flips. The other half, they're quietly telling her to fall back, go off-grid for a year or two, and wait for the storm to pass. What started as a Cinderella moment has turned into a full-blown PR disaster, and the hits just keep coming. With every headline and social media takedown, her public image takes another blow. The dream was supposed to be superstardom, but right now, it's looking more like a cautionary tale playing out in real time. One thing's for sure, the emotional pressure is crushing. Insiders say Rachel Zegler is shook by how fast the public turned on her, and with Disney staring down what could be a full-on financial mess from the Snow White remake, her part in the drama is far from over. This film was supposed to be a surefire hit. Big budget, classic story, a modern twist, and the Disney machine behind it. Execs were banking on another global box office banger, something to follow in the footsteps of Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, and Aladdin, movies that raked in billions. But instead of a nostalgia-fueled crowd pleaser, what they dropped felt like a total misfire. Critics are going off. They're saying the movie tried so hard to be edgy and modern that it completely ditched the heart and magic of the original 1937 masterpiece. In trying to rework the classic, it lost the charm that made it iconic in the first place. Instead of winning over fans, it pushed them away, especially the ones who grew up loving the story and wanted to pass it down to their kids. What they got? A version that felt disconnected, overly political, and worst of all, soulless. And now, Zegler's not just dealing with a flop film, she's smack in the middle of one of the biggest PR disasters Disney's seen in years. The pressure's on, the stakes are sky high, and people are watching to see if she'll sink even deeper or somehow claw her way out. It wasn't just that people skipped out on Snow White, they felt straight up betrayed. Fans who grew up loving the original were left stunned by what they saw on screen. Key emotional moments were cut, character arcs were totally flipped, and the whole thing just felt empty. The magic, gone. And for longtime Disney lovers, that hit hard. But what really sent things spiraling out of control? Rachel Zegler's whole attitude during the press tour. It wasn't just what she said, it was how she said it. Her comments about Prince Charming being a stalker and calling the 1937 classic weird didn't sound like thoughtful critique. They came off like she was mocking Disney's own roots. People weren't hearing modern storytelling, they were hearing shade. Fans said she sounded smug, maybe even dismissive of the movie that started it all. The reaction online? Massive. Hashtags like Staksha boycott Snow White took off, and every single interview clip blew up across YouTube, TikTok, and X. People were breaking down her every word, every smirk, turning frustration into rage, especially for folks who just wanted a respectful update of the classic, not a full-on takedown. And just as the chaos started to cool off, boom! Her old political tweets came back into the spotlight. One in particular, going off on Trump supporters with heated language, reignited the backlash and split the audience even more. For a brand like Disney that depends on everybody showing up, this level of division is a nightmare, and Zegler's caught right in the center of it all. This was the nightmare scenario. Snow White wasn't just a movie anymore. It turned into a full-blown political landmine. And Rachel Zegler, she was right in the middle, taking hit after hit. In a last-ditch effort to put out the flames, Disney started pulling back, fast. Zegler's media rollout got slashed, red carpet time got cut short, and some interviews were shut down midway. But the damage, already done. Opening weekend came and went without a sound. And the numbers? Brutal. Even Disney's most cautious execs were caught off guard. Hopes that the international market would come through and save the day? Gone. Overseas crowds gave it the cold shoulder. By the end of week one, the industry had already stamped it, one of Disney's biggest live-action flops in years. Financially, a straight-up embarrassment. Critically, dragged. Compared to the mega hits like Beauty and the Beast or Aladdin, this one didn't just miss. It crashed and burned. Trade outlets didn't hold back, labeling it a $250 million cautionary tale. And behind the scenes, the blame game had already begun. Some were pointing fingers at the marketing crew, saying the promos were vague, inconsistent, and gave fans nothing to get excited about. Others blamed the script, saying it strayed way too far from the original and lost all emotional punch. And then there were whispers at the top, execs quietly asking why such a drastic rewrite even got the green light without testing it first. But no matter where the blame landed, marketing, writing, leadership, one name kept getting dragged back into the spotlight: Rachel Zegler. Rachel Zegler. Was the blame fair? Maybe not completely, but in Hollywood, perception is the game, and Zegler's face was everywhere during the rollout. Her off-the-cuff comments and the storm that followed made her the loudest and easiest target. Now, the latest buzz? Disney's quietly putting distance between her and the brand. Fast. Some say it's a smart play to protect upcoming projects. Others think it's Disney's way of admitting, without saying a word, that this mess might be too far gone to fix. Behind the scenes, producers are allegedly rechecking casting boards. Projects that once had Zegler locked in as the lead, now under review. She used to be hot property. Now, her name's got a red flag on it. As for Zegler herself, she's gone ghost. No red carpets, no interviews, no posts, nothing. It's like she just vanished. And the silence? It's got people talking more than any apology ever could. Some insiders say she's under tight legal orders to stay quiet. Others think she's laying low, surrounded by close family and friends trying to get her head straight. Whatever the case, the vanishing act is only fueling the drama. Fans online are split. Some say she's being unfairly thrown under the bus, blaming Disney's own production missteps and shaky decisions that started long before she stepped on set. But others argue she lit the match herself, saying her attitude and comments helped sink a billion-dollar legacy. Whichever side you're on, one thing's crystal clear: the silence is loud. And with every day that ticks by with no statement, no strategy, no comeback move, one question keeps echoing louder than ever. Where is Rachel Zegler? So, what's Rachel Zegler really up to next? Is she laying low before a massive comeback, or is this the end of the road? Because how this all plays out could change the game. Not just for her, but for how Disney and Hollywood handle big-name flops in the future. Is she dodging something behind the scenes, or just catching her breath after one of the wildest media storms in recent memory? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We need to hear what you think. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share this with your crew, and smash that notification bell. This Hollywood roller coaster is far from over. Catch you in the next one.